Moo and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pink Tron. I am Brent Robinson, and I am joined today by, let's start with John Keenan. John, what are you drinking?
Hey everybody, I have homemade poor man's coffee mocha made with Fairlife Nutrition Plan. Fairlife Nutrition Plan, the new sponsor of the Pink Tron.
I feel that's a little too wholesome for the Pink
Yeah,
Tron.
it probably is. They would probably run away from sponsorship.
Here to get us back to our roots of drunken debauchery. Let's. I think this is like a slam dunk. Let's go with Chris Greenland. Chris, what are you drinking?
Nailed it. Yeah. I've got a nice little pairing here. So starting off with the Carl Strauss Aurora Hoppy Alice. It's a San Diego brewery. Sean, we would have ridden right past this on the ride to Point.
Yeah.
And then to accompany that, we have a 1792 bottled in bond barrel pick, single barrel pick. So that'll go, I think, very nicely with the IPA and a little bit of whiskey.
You just raced. Where's your recovery Miller Lite?
I already had it.
Okay.
That's my bad
Thank
for
you.
pushing our recording time back a bit. And that voice you just heard was Sean Fogenberg. Sean, what are you drinking?
I have 4 different things on my desk here.
Yes.
There it is.
One is my recovery shake. The other non-alcoholic thing is a citrus hibiscus kombucha. Moving on to the Stone Fear Movie Lions Hazy Double IPA.
That's a double.
Yeah, double and FML. And then I've got Siete Leguas Reposado for
Yes.
just for sipping once we get there.
Excellent choice. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, very good.
Love Siete
And
Leguas.
this is a tequila.
Yes. Which
I
I
know.
think Chris is a rep for.
Yes, it is in my portfolio.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor of the Pinktron.
Yeah, we got to get.
Good.
We can get Chris to have them start sponsoring us.
We can bring dozens of drinkers in. Anyway, we have making his Pinktron debut. We have Stef Etienne. Stef, what are you drinking?
I'm a bit boring. I've just a plain bottle of water. Also did a race a couple of hours ago, so
Boring beverages are totally acceptable on the Pinktron. We like to mix in some alcohol once in a while, but boring is all part of the thing. And
Yeah, speaking of, what do you?
hold on. We're gonna do that, but I do have Big Beaver Brewing Red Ale. So Big Beaver Brewing is
There we go.
a local Okotoks microbrewery, and the red is their best beer, I think. But they make lots of good stuff. But this is my favorite. So yeah. But speaking of things that are boring, the race course this week for HWR is RGV in France. And that
Yeah,
course is
Some
flat, flat,
people
flat.
call it boring.
it's not it's the racers who make the race, right? Race 1 was not a boring race.
Oh, so was Chris in that one too? And Steph?
Chris and John raced it. I don't know if Steph was in this one.
no. I did a level race a couple of hours ago.
Cool,
But
cool.
yeah, the John and I both got split off quite early, 6 minutes in, something like that, when all the dumb stuff began on the flats. Chris definitely stayed quite a bit longer. Chris, do you think that obviously the course itself is boring, but was the race boring?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Every 2% little bump, people were going nuts off the front. It was like what, we lost you, Sean, and John out of the front group like 5K in. I lasted until just after the aqueduct, like I made the aqueduct,
Okay.
and then just kept pushing after the downhill on the other side, like when it lifts up that little bit. But like every segment, obviously we're not contesting it in this format, but every segment people went off the front. Every 2% lift in the road, people went off the front. It was like just getting stabbed over and over again. And eventually I was just tired of it.
I don't think I noticed those little 2% rises in any of the previous group rides I've done. But in the race, you're like, oh, I know there's a little hill here. Oh, there's another one. There's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew in the intestines, and that's where the two guys I was with just kept like trying to.
How did you make out at the end? Did you stick with him and beat him in the sprint?
There were three of us, and we ended up dropping one of the guys in the intestine, and then the other guy out sprinted me. But I'm just looking on Zwift Power; he's not there, so
Yeah,
I'll call it a win.
Yeah.
100%.
Technical attrition. That counts.
Who was leading the dumb stuff? Was it like the ATP guys like usual out there doing dumb stuff, or just Jason Robinson scorekeeper?
Man, I couldn't even tell. It was just like surges off the front.
It was way too far up for me to for me to notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was no like cohesive effort that I noticed by any teams. Like usually ATP will throw like 6 or 8 riders in that front group and push things, but it wasn't anything organized that I could tell. It was just dumb stuff.
That does tend to be the way RGV HWR races go. Just because people know it's long and flat, and you're gonna see who's gonna try and stick around.
I mean, is this normal? The first 14 riders were within 2 seconds, so they didn't break off too many people.
I'd say that is normal in an RGV. I mean, were they all A's or was there some B's in there?
I don't know. We have to drill one by one.
Yeah, I have to look at each one, but it's scorekeeper and Manalo and Noonan.
Yeah.
Your boy Age from the Vikings was in there.
Oh yeah.
Third. And Manalo.
Yeah,
I remember in the olden days when it would be like somebody would go off the front and the pack would just sit there and laugh at them because you knew they were coming back. Like that's not the case anymore with pack dynamics. Just everything has a fair shot of going if you commit to it. So everybody's a bit more on edge and has to chase.
Yeah, and it's so hard. Like I'm the worst for like not being patient for the pack, right? Like I see some guy go off the front and then it's like, oh, I better go chase that guy down because if I wait back here, they're gonna split off. So away I go, and then you chase on, and then you think, oh God, I made a chase, and then 40 guys come right through, and you're like, oh, I guess I should have just waited.
Match burned.
Yeah. And then what size of group did you end up in, Chris?
That's a really good question.
Was there a sprint?
No, I finished solo. So I was with, okay, it's coming back to me now. I went backwards by myself as the group pushed on, and then I waited for a rider behind me. So he and I just kind of went through together, and then there was one more herd rider who was a bit further back, this Ding Dockham herd rider, who, I mean, he was just laying 4.2 the whole way. So he came through at some point. We stuck on his wheel for a little bit, but then he rode off in the intestines. And then it was up to me and this other rider to just kind of duke it out for what was 25th and 26th on the road, but we bumped up a little bit on Zwift Power. I just saved the feather for the last intestine kicker and pushed on, gapped him a little bit and rolled across by myself.
Nice. Did you get a finish sprint in, Sean?
Yeah. So by the end, it was just me and another rider I think we were 20, there were 2 of us 20 seconds ahead of John's group. And so I was through the second half of the course, just trying to trade pulls with them. And they were doing most of the work, but every time that would get under 20 seconds or so, I'd be like, all right, I'll put in some extra effort. And did I dusted them in the sprint. It was, yeah. I mean, that's the upside of just sitting behind somebody for most of the second half of a course is like, yeah, I've already got a decent sprint. So
Yeah. And this finishes out of the intestines, and then there's a right-hand turn into the town, right?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
but I think it's like it seems like you should go from that turn, but that's a long way still, if I recall. Or you
It's
Yeah.
gotta go
500
before that
meters from
turn.
the turn. It's 500
Oh,
from
so
the
that
turn.
is like
Yeah.
get ready. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can catch almost if you go like I went early and then I stayed on the power, so it's like you can catch people napping if they don't pay attention, but it's very clearly up at the top of the screen,
Yeah.
0.5.
And
Like,
I mean the top of the last intestine kicker is at around 1K. So if you're not really a sprinter, but you do have a good, a good kick uphill, that's also a good, good place to go. If you can get a gap there and then hold it.
That would be panache, I think, if you
Yeah.
made that one stick.
I think it depends. Like you're probably not holding off a group of, 5, but if it's, heads up or you got a couple riders with you and yeah, could be a good place to go.
And bike choices, your best aero rig, whatever you got.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up what the new leveling system is, what the bikes are, but something like uranium, nuclear,
Felt AR for
LOS.
the, I think Felt AR for like level 16 is the new Lobby best arrow, I think.
oh, there you go. That's the Brent Robinson special.
I ride that. I ride the life out of that thing. It's probably almost as beat up as my real bike now.
Yeah, I switched that recently because I've been using the Canyon Arrows for so long as my aero bike, but with the new changes, it says that the Felt AR should be a bit better. So among the better aero bikes. So
Good. And what's do you know Steph too? Like where do you get disc wheels now?
Yeah.
I think because I've now the goals, I think the best discs come at level 39, and I think the KDEX at level 40. And I'm just at that off level 33, so getting there.
Yeah, so it's still probably like NV 7.8s if you're lower level or zip 808s.
Yeah, still the Zip 808's the second non fastest non disc, but I can buy the fastest non disc, but I'm saving for waiting for the discs.
Oh, I remember those days. Now I got 5 million sitting there. I don't know what to do with them.
I think
All
I'm at
right.
16 million drops right now.
Well, you could buy some things.
Yeah.
I bet there's
And
something
clutter
in
up
there.
your garage.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure the last thing I bought was the Cadix tri bike or TT bike. Good. All right. So get out, race HWR, and see if you can survive some dumb stuff like the rest of us. That brings us to herd beginner racing, our D multi cat race this week is on TikTok, right? TikTok.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
One lap for everybody.
Classic beginner race.
Classic beginner race. It is, yeah. So if it's your first time listening to the Pinktron or if you've never done herd beginner racing, it's basically the desert, the climb out of the desert, the Caldu Saddle Springs, as it's sometimes called, down into the ocean, tunnels, and then back out, finish at the arch, the desert arch.
Yeah.
John and Steph, I think you guys have both done HBR stuff before, yeah?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one because they keep doing it every 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I think so.
And what's on TikTok? Like how spicy does that climb get?
I haven't
Um,
ridden it since the new pack dynamics have happened. It used to be people would jump off and then they would get consumed before the bottom of the hill.
Same for you, Steph. Usually,
it's been a while. It's usually since our race because I recently, a couple of months ago. Great to see, but when I did TikTok, usually it ends in a sprint, but I tried because I have a decent sprint, but not the best. So I tried a couple of attacks out of the little kicker out of the water tunnels. If you have the power for it, you can, and you can catch the group of guards. You can and you can stick it for I think it's 3-ish kilometers after that. So you can do it, but it's a difficult one, especially for beginners.
Yeah, that's a
But
long.
if you're not a sprinter, you can YOLO it and see if it sticks or not.
Yeah, that's a that 3K from the underwater tunnel up that like a 3% grinder that goes past the entrance to Titans Grove before you kind of hit the lead into that sprint to the arch. It's just I've been dropped there, I've suffered there,
Yeah.
I've died there, I think a few times. It is I
That,
mean if you
that
can
is
solo away,
that's one of the loneliest spots on Zwift right there. Is
yeah,
that up on Grinder? Yeah.
you get a little bit of
Yeah, I
dirt.
think the last race I did a double feature in that weekend on beginner racing first, trying it on the kicker, but not getting enough distance. The second time, I was able to create a gap. Some dude bridged up to me. We rode for a bit, and then he countered me in about I'd say 1.5 kilometers from the finish. Caught me off guard, and I didn't have fit in me after that attack out of the water tunnels to respond, and came in second.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it is a like it's a good hard finishing stretch from there. So if you're in beginner and you're mastering that, then you are doing a fine job. So get out, give her up. I think like I rode the herd gallops ride on Tuesday and there was lots of new faces, people asking. So that's if you're totally new and you're a cat D rider or whatever, get in there and give her a try. I think you'll be surprised how much fun you'll have. That's what got all of us here essentially at some point.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
side note, like Pacebot Bernie is on TikTok right now. So I feel like I've ridden a whole lot of TikTok the last couple of days just to get some kilometers in. So if you need to recon the route, just hop in with Bernie.
All right.
Yeah, and then also shout out to I think it's now the E subcategory, the lowest one for these riders. That's I see sometimes the results are doing less between 1 and 1.5 watts per kilos, but still finishing the race. And I've seen a couple of guys that are very semi to very regularly in the HBR. So kudos to them.
Nice.
Very good. Awesome. All right, Chris. What kind of nonsense you got for Climbers Gambit this week?
It's one of your favorite hills in all of Zwift, Brent. We are doing New York City AQOM reverse in honor of New Year's Eve celebrations. So this is actually the tricky one where you hit the line that's not the start line, and then you turn right and hit the actual line. So this is the reverse direction. I will put that in the post if/when I ever get that up. But end of the day, you are at what does it say? It's 1.1 kilometers at, we'll call it 6%, very stair steppy. And we're out of this at, if I can pull up my notes, climb starts about 2.9. We're out of here at 5K. So it'll be quick, breezy, and then you descend on the other side, and you can just hang around, grab your spot in Times Square, and watch the ball drop. That's the plan. Bring a flask.
Is that the site with a little flat section just in front of the banner?
Yes.
The longer
Yeah.
flat section in front of the banner.
Yeah.
They'll both have a little bit of a flat, but this one it looks like is a little bit of the longer.
Yeah, it's that side.
It's the one,
Okay.
it has basically three steep segments. So you've got, let's say 300 meters at call it 8%, and then a flat, another 150, 200 meters at like 10%, 11%, and then a little flat, and then a really steep, like 16% kick, but that's also fairly short, and then a flat to finish it.
Yeah, I remember that from a couple of workouts ago, a while ago.
You got some theoretical times up there, or what kind of times are we looking at?
John is
Yeah.
our Meister here.
So I just opened that. My fastest time was actually in HWR earlier this year. A low threes, like 312 at call that 4.4. Matt DeFreitas has done this in 2.5 minutes. Tatum also 2.5. So call the fast days somewhere in that 2.5, and add a slight percentage for doing it solo. But
No draft.
yeah. So, but I mean, it's not a super drafty climb anyway. So somewhere in the like 2.5 to a bit over. Chris and Brent have both done this in 250. So, B is in the slightly sub 3 range. Fast C's somewhere in the low threes, like low threes to low to mid threes. And then D's somewhere in the 3.5 to 4 minute range, probably.
Bike is the lightest thing you got.
Yeah.
There's no room for aero here. I don't think it's all about getting up the steep bits at like, what are you gonna do? Like 8 kilometers an hour on those 11 percenters?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I've raced this was in a team time trial with a time trial bike, obviously. So I'm hoping to smash that time.
Oh, here we go. So we did this. Actually, it looks like Thanksgiving of last year for Climbers Gambit. And I did a 319 at 4.2. So that's good in terms of like if you're trying to measure your effort.
Happy New Year, New York City.
Reverse.
Yeah.
Gonna be
Yeah,
cool.
mine is definitely not any relevance at it. It's during a workout, 2.3 watts for a bit under 6 minutes. So that's not a reference. Might do this tomorrow. I've been training a lot, but might do this since it's a short, punchy one.
Guaranteed a PR. Can't beat that.
Yeah. If I don't beat this PR, might as well quit racing. Switch racing.
For reasons we could talk about, we get into the last segment of the show. All right, let's move on to the herd of mountain goats. I can't even say it.
AKA, if a race happens in the forest and no one shows up, doesn't make a sound.
The December 30th and 31st course for the herd of mountain goats is Ven Top. I mean, I don't even know how long is Ven Top, like 20 kilometers,
Yeah.
averaging about
it's irrelevant however long it is.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
it's long enough to destroy your soul.
Well, maybe Matt was thinking this will be perfect for all the people needing to get those last few kilometers for the Rafa 500. That if you time it right, you just join your friends at the top and roll on down.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look up when 2 hours after This races start where my friends are.
Yeah.
Join yeah, so Ventop is you start at the Marina Pens, I believe, right? It's just the short bit up the reverse Petite KOM. And then you're
And then keep going forever and
into
ever.
it. Yeah.
Yep, you got the climb itself is 19K at 8%.
Yep. And
And if you have the notion that you want to just keep going and get the other badge, you can't. So don't.
there's another
Or
one.
no, that's La Rienne. If you do La Rienne,
Oh,
you can't get the Ventop badge.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. If you do La Reine, you only get to the chateau, and
You only
then
get halfway to the
correct,
chateau. Yeah.
correct. Yeah, it's a really neat trick that you actually have to do La Reine and Ventop to get both of those two badges.
Yeah.
But I think
That's
Loren also
cool.
does like longer stuff at the bottom first before it goes
Yeah,
up.
you enter
Yeah.
the climb through the Petite KOM,
Yeah.
not up the full top way.
Yeah, the forward petite.
So you have to do the intestines first. But yeah, I think that the official Pinktron recommendation is join friends at the top. Don't ride this yourself.
Yeah,
Listen,
about to say I have to do like a 2.5 hour endurance ride at zone 2, but probably won't get me up there in that time.
John, have you ever done this?
I've not done either of them to completion. I've done them for like what seemed like forever, and then just thought, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this. There's so many things I could sort my whatever collection. Wash the cat. I'd rather be washing the cat right now. It just goes on and on.
I finished it twice, and I had that thought both times.
Instead for my 2.5 hour endurance ride, I think I'm just gonna do the one of the Zwift Fondo series and do that as a zone 2 ride.
Oh, is Fondo?
I usually do them outside, but I have to. I'm bringing in my bike, my road bike for yearly inspection. He has to change the disc brakes anyways. So get in nice and early, first week of the new year. Get the bike fixed.
Smart.
Yeah, I have the advantage. I bought a Canyon a year and a half ago, and the nice advantage that the Canyon service center here in Belgium is like 15 kilometers from my home. So usually ride it to there, drop it off, and take the bus home and be done with it.
Nice.
I'm just so apparently I've done Ventop 4 times. And
how could you forget?
Yeah, well, blocked it out. I'm looking at the names. The name of one of them was a Mountain Goats, and the name that I have for the activity is Ventop is stupid. So
Cycling is such a great sport.
it turns out though that if you are a world tour rider, so Jason Osborne, who I think rides for Alpecin now,
Yep.
has done it in 51 minutes. So, you're just get faster and then it's not so bad.
If your threshold is 5 watts per kilogram, you could do it at threshold for an hour.
Maybe closer to 6.
6, I would say, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And he probably rode 120K before he got to the bottom of the climb, right?
Well,
for a warm-up.
Well, the guy we don't speak about can use his bot to collect get some drops faster.
In the interest of like promoting the races that the herd puts on, I will say that if you do not have the Ventop badge, and you should go get it, like everybody should do it once.
Yeah, and then you'll win the race.
You could win a race, and a herd of mountain goats probably gives you about a 5 times more likelihood of someone else being on the route than you just jumping into France and finding some rando stranger riding up Bentop. Like there's an actual like event around it. So
Yeah.
And if you're a D, you'll probably win by default because I don't think there's gonna be many D's or low C's even trying this.
it is a challenging route, and I mean maybe in reality like it's pretty or something, but the way that Zwift graphics work, it just like it's green and then it's brown, and that's about it. There's some snow up at the top.
I've ridden it a couple of times in real life, so it's mostly from what I've seen up to the chalet. It's mainly a forest, and I think the last part in the moon landscape is very accurate for it, and that's the nicest not nice part because you can see everything. But in real life, you're just in a forest, 10 kilometers at 10%, so that's the suffer part.
Maybe that's what I've been doing wrong. I need to like shift the camera so it like shows me the landscape instead of just, the old behind me into the rocks in front of me. Anyway, listen, it's a hard route, but if you do it, you will feel like you've achieved something, and then you'll throw up.
Absolutely.
So what should I ride?
The lightest thing you got.
Lightest
Well-
thing you got.
No, Buffalo
No.
bike.
Buffalo.
Tie a rock to the back.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Stampede. We are going to do one lap of Gotham Grind, which I think it's like a figure 8 thing in New York, if I remember. God, I did pick this route. It's an event only. It's an event only route, so lots of people don't have it. I think like I'm not even sure I have this route badge. It's a bit of an unusual one.
Okay, so it
It's
does look
like
like it's a
figure
figure eight of the main bottom part, but that doesn't do the Harlem Hill like at the top.
Yeah, it skips Harlem Hill, right? So,
So it's the rolly parts around the park.
yep. Yeah, you start at the pens, you go down, you do the little bottom bit, then you cross over, then you do the top bit, basically. I think is the most succinct way of putting it.
And it's about 10K.
Yep, 9.6 it says on Zwift Insider. I had 9.6. So, yeah, so you're adding a little bit of time from your time from last week, but not too much. It'll be kind of similar in that it's like rolly, like Ditchy Estate. The climb was pretty well defined, but this one, it's just kind of press a little bit when it goes up to like 3-4%, let off a little bit when it shows the downhills. Try and hit your average if you're using sauce or something like that.
One lap?
One
Did you
lap.
say? Okay.
Yep. So, yeah, we had some requests for Stampede this time to have like a bit of like defined routes and not so many custom finishes. I don't know, it messes with some people's heads. So this one is one lap. And like I said, it's if you're kind of new, this is like you're gonna get a badge, you're gonna get 10K in, and a 10K time trial is kind of a thing to kind of know what you can do.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be, I would say the A's will be like 13 minutes, I think. And B's will be, might be a couple B's that get under 14, but probably in that 14-minute range. C's will be 15, 16. D's will be 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But it's also New York. I guess maybe Chris and I had the same thought, except for I'm not making you ride up some terrific glass escalator terrible thing.
Different series format now, isn't it, Brent?
We kid because we love. Anyway, and all the results should be updated. I don't know if you checked. I know we had some things in the Stampede, but with ZRL finishing, our friends at WTRL had a little more time and they have fixed the results. So they're all up to date and they should be ready to roll. So we're getting close to the nitty gritty here as we've got 4 races to go. It's 8 out of 10. So, you know, you got to get your results in now. That brings us to the bullseye.
Yeah, what are we doing for both?
Sprinters Playground.
Ooh.
Gonna be 110 sprints. 9 sprints on
So
two.
is
So
it
it's
2
2
laps?
laps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I don't. Wait, how many kilometers is that? Doesn't say. Must be about.
That's probably 9 kilometers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sprinters Playground is pretty much a sprint every kilometer. Maybe there's one longer stretch there.
No, so Sprinters Playground, the lap is 12.3K. So this should end up being essentially 25K. The every kilometer part is Tower, Castle Park, and Alley all happen within the first 5K. Then Railway is at, let's call it 8K. But then you have like 5K until the next sprint.
Yeah, I guess the thing to remember is don't get misled by the start of the sprint lines. It is about the finish point first across the line. So when you see the start of like alley and railroad, you don't need to start sprinting. Just worry about who's at the front at the end. That's the trick. So, because that is going to be, it's going to be, let's see, 25 kilometers will probably take 35 minutes. Maybe a little longer than that.
Even 40, yeah.
Yeah, and so you're doing like, you know, 9 sprints in 40 minutes. So, and those 3 in quick succession. So you might need to pick your spot a bit there, like win one, get close to the front, win the third one, that kind of thing, if you can. Or contest those ones, or you know, maybe you decide you're not the strongest sprinter, you're just gonna kind of hang on for one and then win 2.
Yeah, that combo at alley and castle in either direction is can be brutal. I mean, it's a couple of times in HSRL or other races. Tricky one.
Yeah. But you know, maybe your goals for 2024 are to become an amazing sprinter, in which case you should race bullseye and sprint as hard as you can everyone, because that will make you a better sprinter. And is this the start of a new series? Am I seeing that right?
Or bullseye?
Yeah.
Or is it the end of the series?
Number 12.
Yeah. Oh, you're seeing 12. I'm seeing 1.
Oh, I'm looking on the
at
main
the schedule tab,
yeah.
main tab.
Oh, okay.
So it
So
could
maybe,
be.
okay. Okay. This is maybe the end of the last series. So
Yeah, so I think you might be looking at the like
week number,
the wrong date on the tab. Anyway, I think it's the end of the series.
yeah. So, you know, get your last bullseye chances in to win the series. I've won a bullseye once through sheer participation. It's a legit strategy.
Yeah, there's going to be some people who can say the same about herd of mountain goats this week. Just show up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They never ask how, they only ask how many, right?
And then HWR and HBR next weekend will be on, so HWR will be on railways and rooftops, and it's actually 2 laps. So it's just, you know, you go up and down the climb a couple times. And then HBR is on RGV. So same course we just talked about in herd winter racing.
Yeah, if you go into the tab, it's showing RGV for January 6th.
Isn't that what I just said?
I thought you said railways and rooftops. Sorry, that's for HWR.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, I thought you said that was HBR. No, that's HWR. Yep, got it. Good. There you go. So yeah, everything we just said about RGB like 25 minutes ago, that's what you should apply, but as a D for RGV for next week in HBR.
Yeah.
Roadways and rooftops. I don't know. We'll talk about that next week, but that's the course. There's a climb, but it's not the too climby.
And a downhill finish.
And a downhill finish. Good. All right. So it is the end of 2023. Some of us did some dumb stuff over the last couple weeks. Let's start with I'm trying to remember, John. I think you said you might think about doing Rafa 500, but did you
Yeah, I
get into
entered
it?
not
Did you
knowing
make
if
it?
I was really gonna put my heart into it, and then silver lining of having sickness in the family. My teenager came down with some horrible coffee thing, so we're kind of sheltering in place and not doing all the social things we would otherwise do. And so I get up in the morning and kick out a couple hours of riding on the bike, and I think I'm at 450 kilometers right now.
Ooh, you're gonna
So I
make
should be
it.
able to do it. Yeah. I'm going to do what, 6 kilometers in the hill climb tomorrow and then just keep rolling, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend just going around New York, but
No,
you
but
know.
that's true. You can't teleport outside of New York then. Yeah, I'll quit and rejoin some maniacs on Ben Top and roll down with them maybe.
Pace partner, something. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. And Steph, what you said you've been training outside. What has been your or what did you some end of year challenge or anything like that?
No, I want to do. I haven't decided which one, but I want to do like a Grand Fondo Sportif type thing in the mountains next summer, and decided to use to incorporate a trainer to have a structured workout schedule to prepare me for that.
Well, anyone who's looked at my Strava knows that sticking to a structured training schedule is definitely a challenge.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's nice, but I still try to weave in a couple of races from time to time, but yeah, it can be hard.
So are these
But
supported rides stuff in the Alps, or where are you thinking of going?
yeah, somewhere Alps or around there. Yeah, some organized, and then going with the organization too. But I haven't decided which one yet. But at least it's also helping me improving my fat threshold and my regular threshold to get that improved as well. So because it's I started with this trainer well first week or of December, last week of November, because intertwined, and I did on the 19th I did like a maximum effort test to basically 8 minutes. Every 8 minutes, you start at 60 watts, 8 minutes, and it's after 8 minute efforts, and it's up by 40 watts lactate. I take my lactate, and basically they just set my new FTP at 180, which previously theoretically it was 207 because of the 20-minute the effort I did in Plymouth Gambit on Epic KOM a couple of months, 3 months ago. But so I have to retake my numbers, because now I'm seeing a lot of different colors at green and yellow colors on Swift at wattage. Is I'm not used to seeing those colors, so it's a bit of a brain thing. But then I raced like a ladder race on Wednesday because and I did like 200 watts for 20 minutes, so it's up my FTP directly again to 185 on Zwift and 191 theoretically. So yeah, but it's steady improvement. I think it's mostly during the weekend. It's usually 2 endurance rides. Saturdays usually 2 hours with a bit of emphasis on hilly terrain, and then on Sunday it's usually 2.5 hours to 3 hours, and during the week it's like more structured workouts of 1 hour 15 minutes to 1 hour and a half, with mostly endurance, but then tempo and anaerobic stimulus intervals. So but that's now the basis of it. We'll see how it goes. Probably come spring, those endurance rides will be upping to 4 to 6 hours that I'm used to, like over the last year. So looking forward to it. Just wanted to have more structured preparation for a big, if I were to do the big event.
I love that the entire time you've been talking, Stef, like Sean has been nodding, like, "Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I understand this fully." And I just keep like, I've got like numbers floating around, and then a bird comes into my head, and somebody, I have no idea what you're talking about. It all sounds great, but I think Sean followed along exactly what you were saying. I did not.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an accountant, finance by in profession. So analytics and numbers is kind of my thing. So I look way too much after every ride, way too much at my source for Strava, analyzing my efforts. But yeah,
Yeah. Either way,
sometimes.
it sounds like you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
And the funny thing is, I know what he's talking about, and I still ignore it all for myself. I don't know. These other guys can go faster, so I'm just gonna ride as long as I can hold their wheel till I die and throw up. But you know,
Lead from the face.
no, I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, Chris. I think you said you were gonna turn on Rafa 500, but really your objective was to have a good Christmas and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I joined the challenge. I think if I hit like a Rafa 250, I'll be good. It's like John and I were talking about this earlier on Discord. Like it's very inconsiderate for Rafa to drop this in the most exposed family time of the year. Like I can't get on a bike on Christmas Day. The amount of stink eye I'm gonna get is it's gonna ruin the rest of my year. So
You're just gonna wait
I'll
till your
hit.
kids. You're just gonna wait till your kids are teenagers, Chris, and then they ignore and hate you anyway. So you might as well be riding your
Right.
bike.
So I'm a few years away from that, or I could get my family sick like John did.
Yeah.
And that'll free me up for the whole day. But I will hit 250, so it'll be a Rafa 250. And then I'll observe the 500 at another week sometime in Q1. Like I'll get the volume in somewhere. But yeah, no, I'm having actually a pretty good week on the bike.
That's good. And Sean decided he was gonna ride 2 Rafa 500s this week, I think.
I'm pretty close. Yeah. I so
Very
I did I did 4 hours on Christmas. I am at
Or have no.
I will be by the end of the day today, I'll be at like 620K. And I'm probably gonna do an Imperial Century tomorrow. So I'll be close to 850, 900K by the end of it, which 805 is an Imperial 500. So I'll be doing the Rafa Imperial 500.
Okay. And then you can drink an 805 at the end of it.
Yeah, there we go. Or 500 of them.
Well, it's recognized in the U.S., Burma, and Liberia, right? The countries that use the imperial metric system for distance.
But this is I think I'm at like 17 hours or something, 19 hours already for the just the 6 days. And if I do the Imperial tomorrow, it's another 5 hours. That's 24-hour week, which I think the biggest week I've ever done was 16 hours. So like really getting some volume in. Last year I did I think it was the 16 or 17 hours in a week. The week before the 500, because I was going to be out of town that week. So like Chris, I was like, I'll get that volume in a different week. And then the spring, this spring, after I got back and got the intensity back up, was the most fit I've ever been. So I feel like this is a good, like, while I've got this time, I'm essentially doing a training camp, and next week I'm going to recover real hard, get back to intensity. Although we were talking about HWR, I felt like I did pretty good in HWR last week, and then this week, like when the dumb stuff started, there just wasn't anything in my legs, and it turns out doing like 20 hours in a week, when you're not used to that, like the intensity starts and there's just nothing left in the legs for it.
I was just gonna ask how you're feeling with all that volume.
I'm doing okay, but it's like there's definitely quite a bit of fatigue. I'm done looking at the volcano, so I might I might ride some on TikTok.
Volcano? What is there some pace partner in there? Why on earth?
Miguel, yeah, Miguel, who is the pace partner that's like, this is a good all-day pace, has just been doing laps of Volcano Circuit. So I did 130K on Monday on the Volcano while I watched the Fellowship of the Ring on the other screen.
Well, I guess you would have got your whatever that 25
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
it was
times badge.
I was about to say that's close to 30 plus laps.
Yep.
Well, speaking of getting a badge,
Yeah, how's your badge hunt going?
well, let's say I tried to do
You
the
had 4
base
remaining,
camp.
right?
Well, I thought I had 4, but this is what I discovered is apparently
Okay.
Strava was off by 1. So I tried to do the base camp. I made it 2 times, and by the time I got up the second time, I was like done. Like I I don't know, maybe I didn't fuel properly, or I'm not trained to do 4 or 5 or 6 hour rides, but like just on the second time out, I was just like shaking, like my head felt like it was gonna blow up, like just all the things that tell you that you're just not ready for
Like,
this.
don't do anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop
And so I
now.
was kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna, you know, live to fight another day today. So I did get 2 Alps in a row, and like, I did the first one at 200. I must have been right on 250 watts, give or take, because every segment was right, like 251, 249, whatever. Um, and then I got to the bottom of, oh, I should be able to go like 220, 230, and it was like, no, you can do 180. And then when you get to like about switchback 17 or whatever, like 5 left, it was like, I just got to put my head on my handlebars for 1 second here, please. Anyway, so yeah, pulled the pin, um, took a day off, and then went and did accelerate to elevate today. And did like, I was about 15 seconds on my 90-day PR. So I don't know what I was doing. I must have been doing a workout when I said that PR or something, but um, got there, and then the masochist badge thing popped up, and I was like, that's
Done.
it. I
Done.
am done. I will never run the Alpe again. So help me. And yeah, so that was good. Got the accelerate to elevate badge, got the masochist badge. I'm like
Congrats.
probably 90% of the way to level 61 now. So I like, it's funny because when we were doing the old system, I was like, I'm never gonna get to level 60 before the end of the year, and now I might hit level 61 if I ride tomorrow. So
With this big week, I think I'm at level 66 now.
oh, I'm gonna hate you when you get that Scotty Squirrel hat. God, I want that thing so bad. So yeah, that was it for me. I should be like Steph and get into some structured training, try and get it in before like the next ZRL starts maybe. But of course, I say that and then I get a message from like the herd of randos ladder team. They're like, "You want to do a ladder race on the 4th?" I'm like, "Yes." So, you know.
That, 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 that's my issue now. I'm the team captain of our race team. I think, okay, I can't race that one. Just had to say to my C captain for the ZRL, I can't do that because I've structured workouts usually every Tuesday, so it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
well,
now a jigsaw puzzle to place in to schedule in some races for me.
yeah,
But
that is exactly the jigsaw puzzle. So what you said you did ladder today? What were you guys? What was your ladder course today?
yeah, we were challenged by a fellow herd, a new fellow herd team, the herd of Hammerheads, on 3 laps of a seaside sprint.
Mm, interesting. And how'd that play out?
Uh, well, the result we won just by 1 point, 28 versus 27, but could have done better. We were on paper the better team, but I think we can definitely work on our racecraft. But yeah, we tried on the second lap. I tried on that little kicker just when you go down the hill towards the sprint. I tried to push it there didn't break anything, and we wanted to try that again for the final lap, so kilometer from the finish. But the other team anticipated it, and when they went out of the into the rollers, they pushed it, and I and another teammate was more at the front and were caught off guard, and basically had to do was dropped and had to had nothing left to come back. So yeah, but
That's
I love ladder racing. It's so much fun and such an interesting format of racing. Very technically, every place can count.
finish line on that one is at the bridge, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the sprints just after the bridge.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good course. Cool, good. All right, so 2024, Steph's riding some crazy hilly fondo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna do structured training and then not do 100 races. Sean and Chris, what do you got? You guys got another fondo planned or something? Another big herd meetup or something?
I'm
We
sure we will, but that'll be like end of the year. That's always in November. I
we
think I'm
don't
doing.
we did talk about maybe doing the Levi's Grand Fondo up in
Yeah,
Sonoma, which would be, I think that's in like April. Um, can't
April,
remember.
hey. Hmm.
yeah. Let me know on that. We've got. I'm doing Rock Cobbler in February. We have BWR California in again early April, I think. And then the San Diego Fondo I'm going to do this year with one of my hockey friends who apparently rides bikes. I just found that out.
Uh,
And the year's kind of open.
what day is your is the other, you said there was one in early April?
BWR.
BWR. Let me look that up real quick.
BWR stands for Belgian Waffle Ride for those
Yeah.
uninitiated.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, late April. April 27th.
Okay. So Levi's Grand Fondo is April 13th if you want to come, if you have any interest in coming up and preparing for BWR.
Good, could do, could do. We've got the family calendar here. The
So live event planning for the herd.
Yeah.
fascinating,
How about you,
fascinating.
John? You got anything you're thinking about for 2024?
Surviving mostly. Yeah, I haven't gotten I did a structured training plan about a year ago. and that was the slippery slope to starting to race. And I find the racing more, at least mentally entertaining. My life hack is to make little yellow stickies with the course data, my data, what I should shoot for my target power and all that kind of stuff on it. And then I don't look at it when I'm racing because my brain can't do math at that point.
Oh, yeah,
so.
you turn into Brent and just like, how can I make my nose bleed?
Yeah. Oh wait, there's people in front of me. I have to
Yeah.
chase them. Yes.
You know, it's funny. When I was like really into Zetterall stuff, I have a little whiteboard and I'd wipe it off and I'd write all that
There
stuff
you
in
go.
there. And I think I've filled it out twice in the last 3 months, maybe. Like,
Now you just show up.
yeah, sometimes I don't even know what the course is. Like, it's like, what are we doing today, guys? Oh, right. Especially like ladder, I'm really bad. Like the randos are like, you guys want to race at like 5:30 on a Thursday? It's like, okay, yep. It's like
That
show
seems
up.
kind of important for a ladder race. Like, what are we doing here?
I know. That's just it. It's like you get in the pen, you get on Discord, and you're like, so what's the strategy here, guys? They're like, I don't know. Hold on. Don't let them break away.
Go fast, don't crash.
Okay, good. Yep.
Oh,
Don't
I
fall
feel,
off.
I
No.
feel really bad for a ladder team because every time I get asked to race, I'm like, what time is the race? And it's always at the same time, but I always forget. So I feel really unprepared.
Yeah, and I won't recommend trying to figure out the race results just after you finished and trying to do math
No.
while you try
No.
not to puke.
They are making it easier, I believe, so that the scoring is going to be straight up.
Yeah, about that, we won, but I think I got the results an hour after race, and 30 minutes after that, our race results changed 4 times in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Weird bug on the ladder website. That was fun.
Good. Well, there are lots of good things to do on Zwift, lots of good things to do on bikes. And if you're doing that, you can listen to the Pinktron and we will entertain you. I know shout out to Terry Rigby, who is flying back from somewhere in Africa this weekend. He's like, when are you guys recording Pinktron? I'm like, Friday. He's like, perfect. I'll be on the plane on Saturday, give or take. So time zones and stuff, but so
Yeah, like I mentioned, usually your Pinktron is one of the things I put on my endurance rides outside some music.
it's the only downside of recording this podcast that I don't really listen to it that much because
I was about to say, well, I won't be listening this week to the Pinktron because I'm on it.
Yep. Good. Well, I think on that note, we will say thank you to John Keenan. Thank you to Stef Etchen. Thank you to Chris Greenland. Thank you to Sean Fogenberg. Thank you to everyone for listening. Enjoy your races, everybody. Moo and good night.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.